to our live show.
There we go. Welcome, welcome. Exciting, exciting. Oh,
But
it's very exciting.
waiting for all sports podcast. Okay. What do I need to do? Don't know. Don't have a clue. Is there something I need to do in YouTube? Oh no, there we are. But I don't know how. I don't know how delayed it is.
Hopefully, it's not that delayed.
Live on YouTube.
Oh,
Live
jeez.
on YouTube, baby.
Oh, yeah, yeah. That is sick. First of many.
Okay, that delay's probably like 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, still it works.
Oh gosh.
He said, "Gosh."
While
Alright.
watching, which is me. Let's give that a cheeky little like then.
Mm-hmm. Let me might as well watch that as well. You know what I mean? On this side, see how handsome I'm looking. Oh yeah,
Right,
it
how
says
do
welcome to our live show.
Does it? Nice.
That's so cool.
How delayed is it?
Um, might as well watch that as well. You know what I mean? On this side, see how handsome I'm looking. 20, 25 seconds. Oh yeah, it says about 25 seconds. Oh, United, United, United. An absolute shocker. How you been, bro?
Yeah, good. Loads going on.
How was the holiday?
Holiday was great. I just sent the link to the guys. Okay, you can turn your sound down.
Mine. Can you hear it?
I could, yeah.
And can you still hear now?
No?
All right.
There we go then. Our first live stream. Welcome to the All Sports Podcast with me, Matt, and today, Femi. How are you, mate?
I'm good, thank you. Very, very well. Good to be here. How you doing, mate?
Not bad at all. Hey, you were pretty down about how the end of the Premier League was shaping up. What did you think? What did you think in the end of the final weekend? There was a little bit of
um,
jeopardy.
in truth, I'll probably say it was decent. And I say decent because okay, I guess I mean from a Villa perspective, um, it didn't have overall. Let me say it didn't have the excitement or the dramatic endings. You know, in my view, anyway. I know
Yeah.
Villa had the whole controversial, but we've seen
Hmm.
when it comes to the Premier League, we have seen some swings like where if it's a
Yeah.
top
If it
four.
was a final day like Aguero.
Exactly. Do you
Yeah,
know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
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 Like, fair enough. It's still something. For those still fans of those clubs to look forward to. But we've definitely seen more dramatic finishes to a season than we did this past week. Still, it was good. I think maybe if Nottingham beat Chelsea or something, that would have been a dramatic end to the season. Or maybe if they beat, scored a last minute goal. Because I mean, Newcastle lost, Villa lost, and Nottingham Forest lost. So there wasn't any like there was no big surprises as well. I think that's probably um, what made it not as exciting, but it was still for those clubs who were involved in it. I still think it was, I guess,
Yeah.
pretty
With the
exciting.
title sewn up, relegation sewn up, some teams fairly disappointed in their seasons.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've subsequently, since you last recorded, we've had the Tottenham win in Europa.
Yeah.
Smug Ange Postecoglou, hey?
Oh, that's probably the lowest I felt as a United fan as well. The, Absolutely the lowest, honestly. Like it's just. I'm sure we'll get into it, but yeah, I can't
I
even.
didn't. Yeah. So Ruben Amorim, he said he was going to issue an apology after. I didn't. I've not heard or seen any clips of it or anything. Have you? Did he?
Yeah, he did. Give a speech at the end. Apologizing to the fans. Essentially rallying them together. How we have to be. We have to be one. We can't fight one another. Season hasn't gone as well as we hoped for, but
Mm,
the reality is this is where we're at. We can't sulk. We can't focus on the past. We have to move forward, and to move forward, he needs the fans on our side and the players, obviously playing good football and just being as effective as possible. But essentially, he's just trying to get the fans over and just letting them understand that they will play a pivotal role in us being a success.
interesting.
Yeah, so I mean,
You buy it?
well, also, I don't buy it, and my reason is like when Ruben Amorim was appointed, I knew it wasn't. It's never great for a manager to come in, halfway through a season.
Hmm.
It could go either way, and it went the absolute worst way. Like before the last game of the season, we could have been, you know, below the 40-point threshold, which relegate, teams fighting for relegation are having to, account for, heading to the season. That's almost the benchmark for them.
Yeah.
Get 40 points and you're safe. And, a club as massive as United, I wasn't anticipating finishing 15th, let
And
alone
to only hit 42 points on the final
exactly to
day
hit
of the
40.
season.
Yes, yeah, it just wasn't it. And we're 4 points behind the Champions League places when Ten Hag was sacked. So it's like I wasn't expecting
Mm,
to make Champions League once Amarin came in. But to drop as far as we did, I think the players have had a shocker, and I think the whole season's just been poor overall. And I think the manager he speaks really well. He's a great personality, but I think he's been
hmm.
poor as well. Like if I'm saying now is he like it's the job was too big for him. And maybe he's experienced what he's experienced the last 12 months or 6 to 8 months, will play a massive factor in him being a success. But he clearly came into a United job, with the expectations of okay, this let's see how this goes, and yeah, it did not go anywhere near what I even expected. So a lot to really ponder heading into a new season. I don't think he's the right man for the job, which pains me to say because he speaks so well. But
Yeah,
I
because you
just
think probably if he came to you in 2, 3 years' time, you would say he is, and he's the long term, but he's come a
exactly.
little bit too early in his career.
Yeah.
It's funny, isn't it? Like we said about Ten Hag last year that he kept his job by the skin of the FA Cup win.
Hmm. Yeah.
And that's probably what's happened with Ange Postecoglou. He's
Yeah.
kept his job by the skin of the Europa Cup win. But actually, the Europa Cup win is massive.
Yeah.
If United had have won it, everyone would have been praising Amarin.
I still think. I mean, I was of the opinion he should have been sacked, regardless of whether he won it or not. Because to me, I hadn't seen anything that convinced me that his style of play is working. I hadn't seen enough. Throughout the season, and I say that because we even the Europa League final, we scraped through that. The semi
Mm,
final, yeah, like great scenes, everyone's excited. We came back, we beat Leon. The United spirit, the United comeback, but we scraped through that. Like we literally had to score, 3 goals in the last 3 minutes, and we're losing to a 10-man team of Leon.
yeah.
Who pretty much dominated the game. Towards the end of the extra time until what happened, and you do have to question the manager, his game management. I mean, I say his game management. He did bring on the subs that changed the game, but just how you go from winning 2-0 to losing to drawing 2-2. In the Europa League semi-final at Old Trafford, it just I'm bemused about that. And I think he is someone who like he has a lot of potential. To
Mm,
be a great manager, to be a great success. But in this moment in time, the job's just too big for him, and I wouldn't have, similar to how Sir Ratcliffe, had to get rid of what's his name, Dan Ashworth. Like I
Yeah.
think he got this wrong as well, and but it would have probably been too expensive to let Amarim go in similar fashion. But that would have been two expensive mistakes in a season, and for the whole um for the whole Ineos team to admit that would
Mm.
have been particularly difficult because at that point you literally want everyone to get sacked, from the CEO to the director, because everyone's had a shocker.
Everyone out.
No, honestly, like you can't make two poor decisions, in a row. And we're talking about really important decisions for a football club. The manager and the sporting director, and to get both wrong in the same season, no football club can ever recover from that. In a short period of time, anyway.
Yeah.
So I think we're just pretty much in that rebuilding space, rebuilding season, and for us, it's just a case of how can we get out of that, and how can we invest in the right players for us to now kick on, and also even just start some sort of revolution.
Well, you ready for this one? Manager specials. Next permanent manager of Manchester United. The odds
Wow.
on favourite is
Let me guess. Conte.
no, it's Massimiliano Allegri. Then Kieran McKenna. Number
Like,
three, or equal number three, Jose
oh,
and Olivier Glasner.
oh my goodness.
And then Poch
Oh please. I don't want anyone in that. I don't want anyone in that list.
and Gareth Southgate back in the
Oh,
mix.
oh. I mean, there you go. You're better off sticking
Right,
with.
look, so if they're your options, is it stick with Amarim?
Oh, absolutely stick with Ramarim. It's absolutely like you have to. You know, it's as bad as it sounds. Like you have to, unless you're certain that you're going to get a better manager. I mean, Conte's leaving Napoli, it seems, and Allegri is heading in that direction to become a Napoli manager. Jose, at this stage of his career, like, why is he even in these conversations, man? Like, he's a legend of the game,
It's
but
I
wow,
think English Prem, he'll always be in the conversation while
I
he's
mean, no, like Jose. I mean, if he got success, if he achieved success in the other leagues he went to after the Prem, where things didn't work out, and I say things didn't work out, I mean, this is later, obviously,
you'd want to see him at another team in the Prem though, right?
for
Because
sure.
you want him in the league. We
Yeah,
want him in the league.
well, not for what he does on the pitch, but more what he does
Yeah,
off the
yeah,
pitch,
yeah,
for entertainment purposes.
yeah.
But the Jose where you could justify all the off field antics, with the performances, with the trophies, like that Jose is gone. And now we're at a stage where when we're getting more entertained by what he does off the pitch, where we almost forget how awful his teams are.
Yeah.
Yeah, like no, absolutely not.
Brilliant.
Poch, decent manager, but no, like I think you've been manager of Chelsea, he kind of blew that, and if he's the one manager of PSG, he didn't win the league, so that will always be on his name, and he just reminds me too much of Tottenham. I know now Tottenham have won a trophy, but just they're attractive losers in my view.
Attractive losers.
I mean, I say that now, especially being on the other side of an L from Tottenham.
Yeah. Well, it looks like he's on the way out regardless, right?
Yeah, for
Big
sure.
Ange.
Oh, I think it'll be the wrong decision to keep him. It's obviously a great fairy tale ending. He's won a trophy. Finally, Tottenham have a trophy after being the almost team for 17 years. Now they actually get their hands on silverware. Uh, but I still think, with how poor they've been all season, to be 17th, like you have to, the system's not working. You have to get a new manager in. And and for me, if the system started working initially, you perform really well in your first season, and then you perform badly. To me, then the players have checked out. It's
Yeah.
different when you start performing poorly. It can only get better. Because that we've seen what you can potentially be when you're good,
Yeah.
and it's pretty decent. But it's not a life blow. It's not life changing. You're not blowing anyone out of the water or stuff. Like you're a decent team, and that's as good as it gets.
Yeah, interesting. Harry Kane could have stayed and won the Europa.
Oh my goodness.
Left to
European
win
champion.
trophies, and then yeah,
I mean, at this stage, I mean he's won the Bundesliga though, so we got to give him. Uh, Suns,
who's won the bigger trophy, Tottenham or Harry Kane? Obviously Tottenham.
why?
You think winning Europa is easier than winning the Bundesliga?
It's not easier, but we say that, like if Bayern don't win it,
Yeah,
it's a disgrace.
yeah, exactly. But you
So,
wouldn't say that if they were in Europa.
but I'll say, and the reason that in this,
They'd be
I
one of
think
the favourites,
I
sure.
think context is important because they've just lost it. They lost it to Bayer Leverkusen the season before, and if they're winning it after losing the trophy to Bayer Leverkusen, and even the season before that, they probably should have lost it to Dortmund,
Mm.
and now they've actually won the season that won the title with with 2 games to spare. I think it's well deserved, and he played a pivotal role in that as well.
He did play a pivotal role
You know
for
what I mean?
sure.
So I think definitely more. If we're putting both on, you know, the Europa, the Bundesliga, I'd probably say Bundesliga for sure than the Europa League. But good for Tottenham, man. Let them enjoy that. I'm not worried about what they do. Like I know they get a lot of money from it, but what are they gonna do? Spend it on who? Like Tottenham don't worry me, man. That's not. They're not.
No, I don't think they. I don't think they bounce straight into title contention next year. I
I don't
think
even
that
think they make a top
I
10.
think Man City are busy in the title
Oh, for
contention next
sure.
year. Man City, Liverpool, and Arsenal will be. I think Chelsea could be too. Um,
Yeah, I agree. Liverpool are going to be scary with Verts coming in. Special player, Florian Verts, special,
yeah,
special talent.
I
We,
expect to see the likes of, well, now that they've gone, now that they've dropped down, Aston Villa. I expect Villa, Newcastle, Forest to be pushing hard again for the best of the rest positions.
oh yeah, I think Villa might be in trouble. They might need to sell,
Yeah.
especially with PSR missing out on Champions League was big.
Massive.
That was massive for them. So they
Hey,
probably
talk to
need
me
to
about
sell.
that for a minute. What do you think to the controversial no goal for Morgan Rogers kicking it out of the keeper's hands when it wasn't even in the keeper's hands, apparently?
Yeah, I mean, the referee, you could tell he was inexperienced for one, and I'm not what to say is, but he looked pretty young for a referee in the Premier League. He's probably older than me for sure, but he looked pretty young for the referees we used to see it in Premier League. And I think for such a massive game with uh with such consequences as well, I think an experienced referee would have been a better pick from the Premier League. I think it was probably not the best choice, to have a referee who's inexperienced. But to be fair,
Yeah.
you do say you want young and upcoming referees to become those sort of experienced, good referees that we want in the league, and they can only do that through games like that. So there's two sides of the coin to that one. But to me, in terms of the decision itself, of course, it was the wrong decision. Shouldn't have blown the whistle. Probably
Yeah.
leave to VAR to
Yeah, let it play.
let it play out, and then you call it back if you need to, give the goal if you need to. And I see why the Villa players are upset. I understand it as well because now it's like there's big consequences for that. I'm missing out on Champions League, and definitely the wrong decision. But in my opinion, United were all over Villa. Like, there's no guarantee to say if Villa scored that United wouldn't have scored 2 goals,
Yeah.
afterwards because like they were getting dominated, from start to finish, even with 11 men. Like it wasn't even a contest. Like United were just, we're doing United things of back in the day. So, but in terms of the decision itself, poor decision, not a great look for them, and really unfortunate for Villa fans.
Yeah, I think what that will prompt is better processes between the refs and the VAR, that they'll let it play out into the completion of the next
Yeah.
phase of play
Hmm.
and then review it. Because it's just not a good look for the referee specifically, rather than VAR, because VAR didn't get a chance. So
Hmm.
the VAR process held up, but obviously they weren't able to fulfill it. So
Yeah. Well, yeah, I agree. I agree. Disappointing for them, man. Disappointing, but I mean, Villa, talked a good game all season, so yeah, that's what happens. Made it to Champions League quarterfinals, and then to have that happen, yeah, it's looking like a long road for them.
they Villa, credit to them, competed Champions League, FA Cup run, and Premier League as
Yeah,
well.
they did. They lost in the semi final, didn't
Mate,
they?
they
In
didn't.
the
Yeah,
FA
they
Cup.
did. Yeah, to
Wow.
the eventual Willers Palace.
Yeah. Oh, mate. Unlucky. That's a very unlucky season. That is
It
a
is.
very unlucky season. Um, I'm upset they wouldn't be able to buy Rashford now. To see 40 mil, that would have been
Hmm.
really good for United because then that probably works out as double, 80 mil in the bank
Yeah.
to be able to spend. So, being an academy graduate, so that would have been really good. But I'm sure someone else will spend 40 mil on Rashford. I think he showed enough at Villa, for us to know that, he has a lot to offer. Maybe not United, but he definitely has a lot to offer to other teams. So I feel
Another
like we have to
player.
sell Watkins. I think there's an opportunity there for Arsenal.
I think Goikarech or Sesko comes into Arsenal. I don't think Watkins does.
I think it'll be a good opportunity to get two strikers in.
But I'd love that. I'd love
If Arsenal
half a
did that,
strike. I'd have taken half a striker in January.
and I think Villa will be in a position where they need to sell. Like they need to sell. Who are they most likely to sell at this stage? Watkins, how long has he got on his
Mate, I don't know
contract?
that they can. I don't know that they can get rid of Duran, not be able to keep Rashford, and get rid of Watkins all in the space of 6 months.
Fair point. That's a fair. I mean, they've got Asensio is just a loan, isn't it? It's a straight loan. Or
Yeah,
ah, fair enough. Yeah, I agree. I see. That's
I've not heard a
well,
peep out of Duran since he left. But he's played 13 matches in the Saudi Pro League and he scored 8 goals. So not a terrible return.
that's pretty. I mean, pretty decent return actually.
Yeah.
I mean,
If we're talking
Cristiano
about John
Ronaldo, isn't
Duran in the Saudi League, I think it's probably time to move on to a different sport.
it? Which one are we heading to at this point?
I think straight to NBA.
Oh, mate, the NBA. Oh my
I
goodness.
think you predict. I think your predictions last week were that OKC were going to win the series and that the Knicks were going to win the series.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
predicted OKC and Pacers. I'm a big believer in the Pacers.
Do you know what? After last night's game, I think it's a very, very fair call out. And the reason for that is the Knicks had to come back from 20 points down to
Yeah,
win game three to stay alive in the series. And if you're having to do that on the road, I see the Pacers, actually, I don't see them making the same mistake twice. I think that
yeah,
the next home game,
They seem to know all the issues they need to fix
exactly.
as well. Yeah,
And then they can go in there confident, knowing that they could, next time they do have the Knicks down by 20, they can finish it off.
yeah,
Halliburton has been playing out of his mind. Miles Turner is coming in, giving them
yeah. He
some
is
great rim protection as well. And then we've also got, what's his name?
Siakam.
Yes, Siakam, who is playing unbelievable. Like, this is Toronto Siakam, the one who won the championship,
I
coming
know.
alive. Like, he is scoring, 35 points. He's giving them buckets. And he's playing like a true all-star. Brilliant player, and he's really, really, established himself as one of the very top powerful. I mean, not powerful. Sorry, small
Small
forwards
forward. Yeah,
in the NBA, and I think the Pacers have a massive chance of making it to the final. I still think whoever comes out the West definitely wins. I think both teams are just too good for either one. The Knicks,
I
good
don't
team.
know that the Wolves have got the depth. I don't think the Timberwolves have got the depth that OKC have got, and
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
I don't think. I just don't think there's enough points in Anthony Edwards that there is in Shea. So yeah, I think we both think that SGA and OKC are going to win. So
Yes, for sure.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, even at one point, I was thinking this might actually be uh, a sweep with the way game two went. I thought, wow, I just don't see a way in which Ants and the Timberwolves can actually bounce back from this, and then they go back and beat OKC by what 40 points,
yeah,
and
exactly.
then
Yeah,
it just
42. Yeah, 42 points. Yeah,
42 points. Like the game, it just swings, man. Momentum's a massive factor in playoffs this year. But
yeah,
also, like we were saying earlier, like how deep the benches are. Like it's the fittest. Jokic said it best. Like the fittest teams, teams most likely to progress. Because when we're talking skill level, most of the teams are pretty much a decent level. I mean, unless you're taking OKC, who, like you said, have a very deep bench. Like they have, players who could potentially start on any other team, in the league. Alex
yeah,
Caruso, his experience has been pivotal for them. He's come in. He's been defensive. He's been brilliant defensively. He's been, a veteran presence as well. They call him Onk, as uncle, and he has just been, spectacular for them. And I think he will continue to play a massive role heading into, the game four
yeah,
as well. I think he'll play, a key role in just keeping them, should I say, level headed, and just keeping the ground on their feet as well. It just allows them to just go out there, have fun. They're a young team, but you have an experienced head like Caruso. It's a lot easier to just play easy, play relaxed, enjoy the game even more, and just be yourselves because that's what's got you there. You're your first seed. Go out there and show it. And I think OKC, I see no reason why they shouldn't be winning the NBA championships.
yeah. I think with the NBA Cup, with them losing to the Bucks, it was a one-off game, and anyone can beat you in a one-off game, pretty much.
Sure.
But in a series, I think OKC are probably, yeah, probably going to pip anyone. I thought Celtics would have been the most likely in the East to beat
And that would have been a
OKC.
fun series as well.
It'd have been great, but it's never going to happen. We'll have to wait. We've got to wait for
It might not
another.
even happen next year with Tatum out because he could be out for
He's out. Yeah, he's out for a long time. Yeah,
most of next year as well. So yeah, it's not
yeah,
looking
that would be
good.
interesting. Jalen Brown's going to have to step up,
Yeah.
and he did last year. He was Finals MVP for a reason.
Hmm.
Um, it could have been either of them really. It just came down to points, but he is going to have to step up. And yeah, maybe this is the chance Pritchard's going to get to actually be in the starting five.
Yeah. Um. I mean, I don't know. I feel like the way the game's tailored for them, like Pritchard does really well coming off the bench. Like it's not to say he's not capable of being a
But he's
starting
very
player.
good on ball, though.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Yeah, he has, the temperament to lead the league and to lead the team, and really just dictate play, on the court. So I think he's someone that they definitely have a lot of trust in.
Mm.
And I think he potentially, he can start in most teams in the NBA. So yeah, it's just how the team dynamic works and how coach uses them as well. Well, Celtics, man, they had a stinker though. Because even
I
before
know.
the injury,
Well,
like
do you know what? It's not. It was since it was December, January. They went on a real dip in form, and they picked it up a little bit to finish the season, but it was unconvincing,
yeah,
and they just limped into um the postseason.
mm,
And then the injuries, like initially with Tatum, his injuries, I was getting a little bit frustrated that he was going down all the time and getting injured. And then this actual injury that he got, it seemed so innocuous,
true.
that like little slip, but actually he's done himself some serious damage and he's out for 9 months. So
Mm, yeah,
yeah, I was pretty frustrated with both Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum for how they were playing. They weren't playing like Finals MVPs for sure, so
true.
they didn't deserve it, and that's what happens. And the Knicks did. Um, They won clutch and Mr. Clutch got it done for them and is
It
doing it
was.
again now in this series. So we just said about it. They've brought it back to 2-1 in the series, but I think that flatters them a little bit um, because I think the Pacers are very dominant. This could be Halliburton series,
Yeah, man.
and it's been fun to watch because he's been very vocal.
Yeah.
He's challenging Anthony Edwards at the minute.
Yeah, he is. He is. And funny thing, his dad's back for game four. Actually,
Great.
yeah, he was banned, after the whole fiasco with Giannis.
Yeah.
So his dad's
They
back
were
for
saying
game
free
four.
pops.
I know. I saw that. Actually, Pops Free Sham be put out today, so excited to see that. And then it'll be fun, man. It'll be good. It'll be a really good series to watch. It'll be entertaining. Anything to do with the Knicks is always entertaining. It's good for the NBA. The big market, um, and the NBA
It
is
is,
good.
yeah.
So like it'll be really good.
Iconic Madison Square Gardens.
Can't go wrong with MSG, man. Like one of one, and listen, let's roll with it. Let's roll with it. I think they can do some really special things. We'll see. I'm excited.
So it's tonight, isn't it? We've got
Yeah.
Timberwolves.
Mhm.
Timberwolves OKC tonight. Is it? Where is it? Is it in Minnesota or Oklahoma?
Yeah, Minnesota.
Is it? Yeah. Good luck to
Minnesota.
them.
Yeah, I mean, probably Minnesota probably gonna win that one. I think. But if OKC win, then let's wrap it up.
Yeah, it's done.
It's done.
Yeah, it's done in 5.
Yeah, for sure. I think my prediction was five. Yours was five as well. I think I
Uh,
said 4-2 actually. You said 4-1.
yeah, I posted them on the WhatsApp. Great.
Yeah.
Have a look.
You said 4-2 OKC and Pacers 4-2 as
Yeah, I
well.
said 4-2 Pacers and
4-2 Pacers
OKC 4 and
4-1.
1.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I need them to deliver tonight
Mhm.
to deliver my prediction. Unlucky on your predictions for the semi-finals, by the way.
I think even overall you've had some really good predictions, mate. You
It's
have been
only yeah,
smashed.
it was only my heart with the Celtics. If I'd have
Mhm.
really looked at it analytically and their form over the last 3 months and individual players' form and stats, I really should have said the Knicks. But we
Yeah,
actually both said the Celtics, didn't we? So
true. Yeah. You could literally you went for heart over head.
yeah,
And
can't
it
not
happens.
though when it's
Yeah.
your team.
I was
And then
never
when the
predicted them beating
when the
United.
Knicks and when Jalen Brunson got going, I was very worried for the rest of the series, and that's how it played out, unfortunately. So,
Yeah,
just
he is
fortunately, it wasn't a clean sweep. Could
When
have
you
been.
think about it, actually that is unfortunate because pretty sure you won a pretty close game as well.
Yeah, we did.
Wow, wow. I mean, listen,
I tell you what, we've not spoken about yet:
Sunderland.
Dallas Mavericks.
Oh my goodness.
1.8% chance of getting the first pick in the
Can we
NBA.
finally admit the
Having
NBA is
felt
rigged
like there was a controversy and conspiracy
around the
that
trade?
Doncic had been moved to the Lakers. They've got the generational talent that is Cooper Flag that's going to be coming to them next season. I cannot wait.
I'm excited. I'm
Yeah,
excited. He's a brilliant player.
he
I think
is.
he'll bring a lot of excitement to the league as well. He's a stud. He is a certified stud. For our British fans that don't know what a stud is, essentially a gangster on the court. He's a
He
gangster.
do- yeah, he dunks
He's
he
not
dunks on
there.
people.
He's
He's physical. He can shoot
physical.
from
He's
anywhere.
fearless.
Fitness, distribution. Yeah,
Yeah, he's got it all. And like, I don't buy it, man. The
he
NBA,
dunks from distance as well.
yeah, like he's super athletic. Like, I just don't buy it that it's not rigged because you're telling me to have 1.3%
It's 1.8,
chance,
yeah, 1.8.
yeah, 1.8% chance of of drafting a number one pick after trading Luka Doncic. Like what? Don't play with me,
Hmm.
man. Like, don't play. Like, stop that. Like, come on now. You traded Luca and you get another generational talent. Like, this is no. This is done for ratings. Word to Steph Curry's wife, Aisha Curry. This is done
Yeah,
for ratings, and I can't believe it. But I think that
absolutely
the league
crazy.
should be excited. Should be excited for that. To have Luca coming to. I mean, to have Cooper Flag coming into the NBA.
Yeah, I think most non-Dallas fans are pretty pleased for Dallas because they lost Doncic. So yeah,
True.
I don't
Yes.
mind. I don't mind him. I don't mind him going there. Like,
Yeah.
where else is he going to go? Toronto Raptors. Come on.
From a commercial standpoint, this is actually better for Dallas because you have an American player who is super talented, who will put bums on seats, who's also, I mean, we hate to say it, but who's also white. A white American player who is really good will
Yeah,
put bums on seats. Like, I think it's similar to Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark.
You know what I
Yes,
mean? Like,
it is exactly
it's
that. Yeah,
literally like they bring a lot to the NBA in terms of viewership, in terms of marketing, and in terms of diverse range of fans.
yeah. I
It's
couldn't. I
great.
couldn't say it. I couldn't say it. But you could. But you can say
Yeah,
it.
like I think it's massive. It's great for the league. Like it's great for the league, and it's great for Dallas. Like Dallas, they are in a good position. They're in a really really good position, and I'm excited to see, man. I'm excited to see for sure.
Yeah, I'm just like first season in the league. It will be 3, 4 seasons in that he may be leading the team to
Yeah.
finals. I'm just excited to see
Bold
some.
prediction.
We'll be getting some decent highlights. But yeah, like I
Yeah.
said, from distance he's dunking on people. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, it'll be exciting. That'll be really good to see. It'll be really good to see, and then I'm looking forward to it. I think they'll do a lot of damage in the league. They'll be exciting to watch. That's for sure. Probably will make the. Oh, they could make. They'll probably make the playoffs next season if they have everyone fit.
I think
Anthony
yeah.
Edwards, Kyrie, Cooper Flag, like mate, they
Hey,
could.
not Anthony Edwards.
I mean, sorry, Kyrie, Anthony Davis,
Yeah,
like they will do a lot in this league.
AD's going to be excited for next year.
I mean, if he stays fit, maybe. If he stays fit, he will be excited. If he doesn't, then
He's traded LeBron for Cooper Flag. Come on, he's
hey,
quitting.
I mean, really good. Here we go.
Of
Uh,
course he is.
all I'm saying is, I can't wait for him to step on the floor. Let's see how he performs. Let's see if the pressure gets to him. I don't think it will because he's actually played with NBA players.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
like on the what's it called? I can't remember what series this was, but in one of like those court meetups,
Yeah, he's done
must
all
have
the
played.
training. He's done like all the US
Comes
training
up
camps and stuff over the last 3, 4 years. So yeah, he's
Mhm.
he's been in the mix with the elite players for quite a long time.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's going to be exciting.
yeah, that is.
I
So it'll
think
be exciting.
AD's 32, so he's got 3, 4, 5 more years maybe. So I think there's good opportunity there. If AD was also like 35, 36, I'd be thinking not so much. But
Oh yeah,
having that defensive power of AD and that
yeah, but I
attacking
mean,
threat,
like he's 32, but he's been banged up so much. I
I
think
know that's why I'm
he's pretty
saying
much 40.
uh,
Like,
possibly. It's he plays a very physical game.
yeah, he's quite physical. He's been injured way too many times, and I struggle to see how you know will you have an extended time to see AD play. Like, I think he's not the sort of player as he gets older. He gets better, or he's aging like fine wine.
Yeah, he's at his peak for
Yeah.
sure.
Oh, I think he's even past his peak.
Oof,
Yeah.
sorry, AD, if you're
Yeah.
listening again.
I think him AD on the Lakers was probably his peak. I mean, AD on the Pacers actually. I
I
mean, on
know. Yeah,
the Pelicans
yeah. It
was
was when he started to make his name.
yeah, that was super AD where he was going against Steph Curry's the Warriors and was giving them a game, giving them series. So I think that version of AD is long gone.
Yeah, yeah. It was
Sunderland back in the Premier
first.
League.
He was first pick. He was first pick in 2012 AD.
Yup. It's gone from
It's
not being
crazy,
number
isn't
one pick to literally being a champion. How many number one pick? That's a trivia question. How
it?
many
Don't
number
know.
one?
Speaking of quizzes, the Premier League wrap up quiz will be coming in the next
Oh,
couple of
can't
weeks'
wait.
time. Watch out for
Can't
that. Get ready for that. I'm back as quizmaster, back by popular demand.
wait.
One quiz, one win, and he's back
100% record.
100% record. Yours is a more controversial record than mine.
Let the haters hate, man. I
Hey,
dominated. I had my time, and I'm not losing my trophy.
okay.
The
Good,
king.
good luck on
Oh,
the Prem quiz because I know you checked out, as you said, game week 24. So
yeah,
we'll see. We'll see how much knowledge you've managed to maintain.
yeah.
One other quick sports check in that we had. We can't not talk about the biggest F1 race of the year.
Hmm.
Hopefully, it won't be the biggest of the year and there'll be bigger and better races. But this one was interesting because they introduced a mandatory minimum 2 pit stop rule. Have you
Yeah.
heard about it?
No, but I saw that in the news over there. Do you
Yes, they.
wanna?
It's like some of these rules that they're bringing into sports like mid-season
Hmm.
that they're like changing the rules mid-season is or like trialing things out mid-season. I don't know if I'm on board with it. I don't quite like it. I like the rules to be consistent for the whole season.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they mandated that you have to pit at least 2 times, which means that you have to use at least 3 sets of tires.
Yeah.
That obviously mixes up the strategy around what is traditionally a processional circuit, whereas whoever qualified fastest and the qualifying order is pretty much how the race finishes, except for a few like bumps and bruises that knock people out of the race in the first couple of laps while people are just getting into the formation. But
Hmm.
I decided that on paper I liked it because I like that pit stops mix up the field a little bit for where people are placed, and also that it introduces more strategy decisions. But by the end of it, I actually decided that I didn't like it, not because I don't like Max Verstappen, because I really admire him as a professional. He is the best racer and probably will be the best racer of all time when he's done. But what Red Bull were able to do is basically manipulate the system. And they only did one pit stop and they kept him out for the whole race just in case he managed to get a shorter pit stop with a safety car, or if the race was red flagged, which it often is at Monaco
Yeah.
because it takes quite a bit of time to clear the cars off the track when there's an incident or when
Hmm.
they stop on track. So they were gambling on that. It didn't actually pay off for them and they didn't get it, but it showed that it could have done.
Hmm.
And then it's just down to kind of waiting out your last pit stop. So you're not actually using all
Yeah.
the sets of tyres. So I thought, in terms of being able to game the system, um, even from the initial pilot, I just thought that will kind of get even worse
Yeah.
and it just get manipulated a little. Like the idea of bringing bringing elements into the race that create more jeopardy and change strategy and mean that you have to adjust the way that you drive in to manage your tires or just to absolutely spank your tires.
Hmm. More exciting.
Yeah, potentially so. But I think there's more work to be done. So, yeah, I didn't like it, but it was probably like a yes and no from me.
Hmm.
I think it's got potential. There's more work to be done.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, for its ability to be gamed at the moment, I'm not a fan. So if they can iron that out a little bit, like that
Hmm.
they have a minimum amount of time that you're on the tire for example, like a minimum like 10 laps or something that you have to do on the tire, so you don't just get someone sitting on the one stop until the final lap of the race like Verstappen did, then that would be ideal.
I mean the challenge with almost the minimum laps or minimum time is it takes away from from that strategic standpoint, doesn't it? Because now it's no longer the team coming together and saying, okay, we want to,
True.
do this. How about we, like you said with Verstappen, wait till last lap. Now it's almost like you're almost told how to race, which you don't want it to be too robotic. You still want teams to be able to go out there, perform to the best of their abilities, and just be strategic, be smart. And I think it's still like you said, it's a work in progress. We'll probably have to see, how it goes over the next couple races, and then go from there. But I think for now, it's an interesting new dynamic, and I also think one that we can be excited for.
Yeah. So yeah, more to be done. But the interesting thing is, we're talking about the Monaco F1 from this weekend, and we've not even mentioned who won it or
Yeah,
who
true.
qualified fastest in sprint, because this is an interesting element to it.
Yeah,
So the person that did qualify fastest was Lando Norris,
yeah,
and he did win the race.
yeah.
And Leclerc qualified second, and he came second. And Piastri
Yes.
qualified third, and
Continue.
lo and behold, the procession continues.
Yeah.
He finished third.
Wait,
Interestingly,
Hamilton. Yeah,
Mercedes,
I'll take
a
that. Top five.
yeah, the Ferraris showing a bit of pace, and
Mhm.
Mercedes really not showing any pace whatsoever.
Yeah.
With Russell and Antonelli both outside the points. So,
Hmm.
but what it has done to the actual standings is really tightened it up at the top. So we've now had, what, we on 5 or 6 races? No, we had 7 races. Oscar Piastri's won 4 of them, Norris has won 2, and Verstappen's won 2. So at the top now, it's 161 points for Piastri and 158 for Norris. So McLaren are right. They really do not have a number one driver. They've got 2 number one drivers.
Yeah.
And we've still not seen the battle on track between them yet. They've still not come together on track. There's always been someone in between them, either Max or Charles Leclerc. So
Hmm.
I'm, yeah, I'm excited for when it happens. Don't know when it's going to happen, but it is going to happen. There will be fireworks, papaya shaded fireworks.
Potentially, you think could it be on the same level as Hamilton and Vettel?
No,
Because that was
because
fireworks.
no, it would, yeah, like it more likely, yeah, like more likely Hamilton and Rosberg when they were teammates,
Yeah.
and Hamilton was having issues with his car, and Rosberg was mopping up the wins in the Mercedes, and then won the title. I
Hmm.
think we see something similar and have a little bit of animosity between the two of them.
Hmm.
Um, but I think the team stamp it out. I've said in previous pods, Zach Brown and the leadership at McLaren are not going to take any nonsense from either of the drivers.
Hmm. I agree.
They're going to be very firm about winning the drivers' championship, and the team win is number one. And we'll see what happens at the end of the season for who's the actual number one driver.
I mean, kind of know who the number one driver is. To be fair, Lando Norris, in my opinion.
Interesting.
Verstappen, obviously, he's still, he's still. I think what he's.
Yeah, look, Verstappen in a slow Red Bull. I
Yeah.
think what is testament to Verstappen is what's happening with the second driver in the team all the time. And we know that the car is set up for Verstappen, and that's how they built the car. So anyone else has to kind of fit into his driving style. But yeah, Yuki Tsunoda finished 17th and was lapped twice in the race. So
Yeah.
whereas Max Verstappen finished fourth, and in qualifying, it's a similar picture as well. So Verstappen qualified fifth, and Yuki was 12th. I could be saying Liam Lawson. I could be saying Sergio Perez. It doesn't matter who the second driver is; they're always 12th and above.
Hmm. True.
They're not competing in that second Red Bull.
Mm. True. Yeah, I guess that works as advantage, and it allows them to complete focus on on one driver.
It does. It means they probably aren't going to win the championship. The drivers, they're probably not going to win the constructors championship,
Yeah.
but it gives them their best chance at
Hmm.
drivers championship.
Yeah.
but we'll see. We'll
Well,
see what the future holds.
constructive championship, like how important is that to the team overall, in comparison to
Yeah,
the
more
Drivers'
money.
Championship?
Yeah, more money for the constructors. There's also a Ferrari bonus in the constructors championship. If Ferrari commit to entering their car in the following season's races, they get like a X million amount of pounds paid to them. So Ferrari always make the most money in the constructors championship just by being a legacy team.
That's amazing. That's crazy. That is
It's like the favoritism for the Knicks and the Lakers in the
yeah.
NBA, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. I mean, listen, big brands talk, man. The money
They do.
talk.
Yeah, they do. What would F1 do without Ferrari, really?
Exactly. Crazy. Wow.
And a great place to end. So, if you have enjoyed listening along, you can like and subscribe on all the usual channels. You can get in touch with us at allsportspods@gmail.com, and we will catch you on the next one. Cheers.
Cheers.